And welcome to Good Boys Gone Bland, Season 3, Episode 5. I'm your good boy, Denali. Woof woof.
Bad boy, Ryan.
I'm the bland boy right in the middle that tastes
You're
like
ju-
unsalted pasta.
You're just right.
Jace
I was
Barlow.
kind of doing like a dog thing.
Yeah, I'm
Ooh.
a bad boy.
Okay. So
Bad
you're
dog.
you're the bad dog. Jace is the bland dog.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just feel like we're not playing up the dog theme enough for a dog season. You know, we talk a little bit about the dog movies. We talk about the dog house that we live in. I feel like we should have more dog jokes or dog puns. You know, what's the deal with Bones? I don't know. I'm trying here, man. You guys know any dog jokes?
Yeah, but they're not appropriate for air.
Or not appropriate on our explicit podcast?
Yeah, I
Okay.
only know dirty dog jokes.
Yeah, okay. I'll make one up right now.
Our explicit
Rated
podcast that gets heavily edited and all dirty things are completely scrubbed by Denali.
Okay. I'm gonna make a dog joke. Okay.
Make a dog joke.
So
Crack the dog joke.
what did the wiener dog say to the Great Dane?
I don't know what.
Nice wiener. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just
Because he's small and he's under the
Yeah, we
his
get yeah,
wiener.
it was a wiener.
Vantage point. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm bowling at a 0 right now. There's a real gutter ball back there, but I'm trying, baby. That's showbiz. You hit and miss sometimes.
So So this week we watched Scooby-Doo. As surprising as it might be, I think this is the closest we've come to having a horror movie. Would you agree? Ghost of Girlfriend's Past was horrifically bad, but that's not really what I'm talking about.
There were ghosts in Ghosts of Girlfriend's Past, but yeah, they definitely weren't the murder kind.
Yeah.
Well, not really. So yeah, I think this is the most horror adjacent movie. I think you're right.
Yeah, like Gone Girl is a thriller, you know?
Oh yeah, okay. That was disturbing though, man. Like,
Yeah, that's not really a horror. This had monsters and the people disappearing, and you have to solve it and figure out who's the bad guy. And so I was thinking, to honor the occasion, we could tell some scary stories. And
okay.
we could tell, if you want, we could try and do scary stories for dogs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We could do scary stories featuring dogs. I originally was coming into this with the idea that we could, because most scary stories, when you think about it, they're scary for kids.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of adult scary stories, and even when we hear them, we're like, oh, okay, that's not really scary. I get what you're trying to do. But now, an adult scary story would be something that kids wouldn't make any sense to kids. And,
yeah.
And
About
all three of
tax
us.
fraud.
Yeah, exactly. So all three of us are in very different professions. So I thought it would be nice to come up with a short, scary story that what would count as a horror story in your profession.
Oh,
An
okay.
adult horror story that's real.
Right.
That's this could happen to anybody, and if it did, heads chopped.
Okay, this is good. This is good. I'm excited. But dog themed.
Oh, that's a lot of that the ice cream flavors are kind of mixing in the middle at that point.
You said this could be dog themed, Brian. We have to do a dog themed.
So we can switch it to dog themed, but I don't know about making.
Well, we
both
could
of those.
tailor it to our professions and have dogs involved.
I'm lost. I don't know what the fuck. I didn't pull a single iota of thought out of your initial.
So therefore, that means that the premise is too complicated, and we got to go with dogs.
Okay. I mean, Jace, think of this as one of our improv sessions, except Ryan is now our improv teacher, and now we're charged with telling a story.
Yeah. Okay. So setting. So let's have this. Let's make this a spooky story.
Yeah.
And one of you be a dog. Who wants to be the dog?
I'll be the dog.
Okay. Jace, you get to be our scary element. Now, you don't have to be a monster. Now, think about what's scary for dogs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I like an omniscient narrator here? And I'm going to be leading the Denali the dog through the day?
Oh, it could be conceptually scary,
asterisks, right? You can be dark shape walks in room or something.
Dogs hate asterisks.
Yeah. So Denali, the scene is your owners
Okay.
are going out on a date night,
Ooh, okay. I hate
and
that.
they left you alone,
Oh, I hate that.
and they locked all the doors.
Hmm.
Okay, but
I got
they
food.
forgot to close the blinds on the sliding glass door in the back of the house.
Okay.
So, start seeing.
Start seeing. Okay. Okay. Du-du-du-du-du. Oh man, my owners are gone. Boy, am I sure bummed. No bones about it. Oh, look, they left the sliding glass window thing open. I better look outside. Oh god, it's my reflection. Oh god, I hate that thing.
And you hear, is there something that this dog might hear?
No, I had an
Uh,
idea in my head and it doesn't fit in with this
Okay.
with the
I have
background.
tinnitus. Oh, nothing.
He
I
hears it
can't hear anything.
ringing.
This is horrible. I should have never had owners that are fireworks dispensers.
And then from the other side of the house,
He hears some more because he's a dog.
Oh, more tinnitus. Ah!
and scene. Wow. This is that
That was-
probably is terribly frightening for dogs. So sorry if your dog is, not 18 and is listening to this.
Dogs with tinnitus is terrifying.
Yeah.
They can't do the cool finger drumming technique that people do online
Right.
to stop your tinnitus.
Well, you
They don't
can do
fingers.
it for your dog. You can just smack him in the head.
Yeah, that's not chill for dogs though. I don't think you should do that.
Okay. Well, there's also, we could have went any direction. We could have went, dog farts, and then dog gets scared.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, I think that was a good scene. That was a good scene. Do you want to take a crack at this, Ryan?
I can take a crack at
You
it.
want me to guide the scene?
You give me a roll, and you give me a setting, and we can go
Okay.
into the dog's mind.
Okay, Jace, do you want another crack at this, or do you want to narrate?
You take it. I want to see how this.
Okay, so you want me to narrate this one?
Mhm, mhm.
Okay, I'll narrate this one. Okay, so who wants to be the dog? Because there's always a dog.
It's Ryan,
Jason?
and you're the narrator. Wasn't that
Ryan
the?
wasn't
Wait, no,
Jason.
no. Ryan's the.
I thought you wanted to be the dog, Jace.
Oh, okay.
Jace is the dog. Ryan, I want you to imagine a scary thing from a dog's perspective, or just a scary adjacent thing. Okay. So Jace, you are in a big Victorian mansion. Okay.
Mhm.
And your owners
Mhm.
are out for a nice evening stroll, leaving you
Rip
alone
off.
in the. Okay, fine. Your owners have been murdered. And
See, this is why I'm confused because it
Yes,
takes away
yes.
the action from Ryan as the narrator here. I don't know how the scene is being built.
fine. All right, I'll
going
build it.
swimmingly.
I'll build it a different way.
Oh, my neighbors.
Because Jace is having a lot of conceptual problems here with my premise.
Would I?
Usually that's
Okay.
me.
I guess. Okay. They were murdered
Forget about the murder, okay? I
because
think
that's
I'm putting you
already
guys in
probably
too small
pretty
of a
really
box.
scary
It's
for a
pretty
dog.
scary.
I'm not sure
Okay.
you'd get much more out of a dog than that besides the owners already being dead. That'd
Forget
be-
about the murder, okay? You are a dog with a job. You're at work. You're working the graveyard shift.
Mm,
But that.
okay.
Jace is gonna decide where.
Where? Oh, I'm in the airport.
Okay, you're a dog at the airport working the
Ooh.
graveyard shift, probably sniffing out some drugs or something. PSA line.
Yeah.
Or driving the planes.
Sniff.
Right now, Ryan,
Mhm.
you're gonna be the scary thing. So I will begin the scene. Jace, I'm going to give you a cue, and you will begin the scene. All right?
Yeah.
A woof.
Is there another dog?
No.
The director is a dog, and he's saying action.
Wolf.
Dog theme.
I sniff around. Been working, just clocked in. The guy working me today is a fat piece of shit.
Oh, nice, gritty. I like this.
Uh-huh.
A horny cat whistles out in the distance.
I was sitting. I pick my butt up and I point. Not sure what's going on.
Oh, does the narrator have anything to say about that?
A door creaks open
Yeah.
ominously, slowly, and it definitely needs oil in its hinges.
Did I break away from my? I'm enticed by this. I frantically
Peter.
pull away from my owner or the
Your owner's
person
like, "Oh,
handling
Jeffrey!
me.
Oh, what the hell? Ah!"
You have an owner. You're not. Okay, I'm a little confused. Okay. I'm logging on here. I'm logging on
It's
here.
a TSA dog.
Oh, okay. PSA dog.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh
Cool.
yeah, were you thinking like a BoJack-esque style world where I was just a dog on a?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
Well,
Okay.
sort of. I was thinking like a sentient dog who like was.
It's
working
always
at an
better
airport.
to explain out of character in improv.
Yeah. This segment could not be going better.
This is why I use canigetat.com to to railroad our. Okay, you know what? Let's keep going. This is good. All right. Oh, Jeffrey! Oh no! Oh, what are you doing? We gotta sniff out some cocaine.
I turn around and I bite him because he's not letting me get at what I need to find, and he's holding me. The partner's holding me back, and I run off. I run towards the sound.
Tried to get my bones.
Wait, why are you? I thought you were narrating, but now you're like this.
Well, then sometimes the DM will assume an NPC in the situation. So I'll jump back into the narrator seat.
Okay. I have no idea because now there's an extra character.
Yeah.
That's not
Well-
a dog, and it's being played by Denali.
Okay.
So I don't know what I'm supposed to do because I was planning on being the characters.
This is why I was confused the first time around.
Okay, you know what? Let's scrap the scene.
Okay,
I
let's
think
scrap
that was great.
Let's
that was
scrap the
that
last
was really
10 minutes of recording.
great. That was a great funny skit we did.
Let's do Can I Get a But We're Dogs.
Ooh, nice. Okay, let's
Is
do
that gonna
okay.
work? Don't worry, there's literally no standards anymore because we already had 2 atrocious scenes.
Yeah.
What is the website?
Canigetat.com separated by dashes, and this is where you find the rap video, and then you say
I
that's
just
not
found
it.
the rap
And
video.
this has
I could not find
happened
it.
3 times now. Jace,
Uh-huh.
do you want to do Can I Get a as the narrator this time?
Don't I just read it?
Yeah, you read it, and then you can give me a little lead.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I'll be the spooky thing. Ryan is going to be the dog.
Wait, the can I get a is it will determine what type of dogs you two are, and then I'm adding intricate additional elements to the improv skit.
Or you can decide like so Can I Get It will give us 2 characters, right?
Yeah, it'll give
And
us 2
so-
characters. Yeah.
You can choose whether we're both dogs or whether one of us is a dog.
Okay.
I just assume we're all going to be fucking dogs. You know, for example, relationship, chef and a maitre d'. We're both fucking dogs, dog.
Oh,
Okay. This is getting real tenuous.
but it's horror based.
Yeah, give us a premise, Jace.
Okay. Denali, you're the president of the once
Time.
United States of America.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Ooh.
Denali, take your headphones off just for a second. Ryan, you are an alien dog
Ooh.
visiting
Okay.
once United States of America.
Hmm. Visiting like a tourist?
Yeah. Yes.
Or like ambassador?
Yeah. Let's go
I'll
with ambassador.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got my headphones back on.
And the location is a walk-in closet.
Okay.
The word is wanted.
Wanted?
Yes.
Okay.
I can live with that. Okay.
All right, scene.
Oh, Jace, I think you're supposed to say. He's requesting you say scene.
I need direction. I need
Please.
direction here.
The president of the once United States of America enters his home after a long day at the office.
Oh, this nation's gone to shit. As the first dog-eat president, I thought it would be easier. But damn, these humans never learn. Now time for my daily ritual, where I go inside my walk-in closet and, I don't know, chase my own tail around or...
You take off your doggy suit and tie.
Oh yeah, take off my doggy suit and tie, because now I can be myself finally when I get home.
Yes.
Being a two-term dog president is a hard job. It's most of my life, actually. My wife always asks me, "Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing, James? You're spending 2/3 of your life out there on the campaign trail and serving these ungrateful humans. But at what cost? Policies passed. Voters courted. What have we done? What have we done for dogs? Enemies defeated, wars won. What is a country? What is a country but a series of souls existing in one moment?" Anyways, better head to the closet.
Oh, hello.
Hello? Is someone in here?
Nice to meet you.
Who are you?
You are late. I was told you would arrive at 8:41.
Are you one of those
Time.
guys from the cigarette commercials where they have to use one of those throat things?
No, I am a Florminian, and I have come to shake your paw and
Oh, you think I'll
extend
just-
greetings across the space-time.
Okay, I know you're assuming that I just do the shake bit. That's kind of like a thing you probably saw in the 1950s movies that broadcast
We
out to your planet.
Just received your from the first dog transmissions.
Well, how do you do? What do you want?
I want to have your chew toys sold in the stores of my people / dogs.
You want the rights to sell our chew toys in your stores?
Yes, Earth chew toys made in America. American chew toys in my Florminian stores. I come as a goodwill. I extend you this basket of Florminian toys that you can sell in your stores.
Oh, great. Well, that's just what I wanted.
Really? It's very specific.
And scene.
I was a dog ambassador from the planet Florminian.
Oh, okay.
I really wanted you to just like him finally get in the closet and you'd be like, "I wanted to say hello." Just end scene after Denali's monologue.
Wow. You literally could not write that.
Holy hell.
We're gonna TM that for a screenplay, I guess. Just add it to the screenplay pool because one of those is gonna hit. One of those are bound to hit.
The once
first-
United States of America run by dogs.
I'm thinking there's a civil war because the first dog president was elected.
Oh,
That's
And
fair.
there was
so what are the geographical divisions? The South
Yeah.
has to be on side of the dogs.
I was thinking it was gonna be like Ohio and then like everywhere else seceded.
Just Ohio.
The once United States of America. What changed? We kicked out Ohio. They have a bunch of dogs
The world's a wasteland now.
in Ohio. It's everywhere else.
And, yeah,
it's
everyone else is
normal.
fine.
Ohio's winning though. They are winning the war.
They have way more dogs than we do. Have you seen that place? It was run by dogs before this, if you know what I'm saying.
So we'll call the screenplay "The First Dog President." And I
Of
guess you'll
Ohio?
need an alien at some point. Yeah. We'll shop it. We'll shop it around. I think we this is where we pitch the idea. A writer writes it, and then we get like 10% of the
The
movie.
prime territory for a fish out of water sequence.
Oh.
Ooh, yeah. Where kind of like a dog's like, "Oh, how do I sign a bill? Oopsie, haha," and
Okay.
everyone,
Actually, what we just did was very close to how I imagine they wrote a majority of this movie.
like
Scooby-Doo.
just
They
kind
were
of
just like, imagine if somebody was a dog and they were like getting on an airplane and there was like a cat under the seat and the dog was like, "Woof, woof, woof, woof."
I don't think you're wrong. Okay, we could talk about just Scooby-Doo as a concept real quick.
Mhm.
Like, how fucking wild is the name Scooby-Doo? Like, someone was supposed to make a name for a dog, like like what is that? Scooby Doo?
Well, his real name is a lot more proper. Scoobert.
Which is very good. But I actually like looked it up because like that is so fucking arbitrary. And I actually heard it's based on like a scat from like a Frank Sinatra song where he's like Scooby-Dooby-Doo, and they wanted to make a song, and that's why it's Scooby-Doo, which is like
What a
the
legend.
most 1940s thing I've ever heard.
This whole series would be way better if somebody our age from 2020 named it, because it would be like Cheese, the crime-solving dog. Everybody names their dogs after fucking food now. So who cares if his goddamn name is Scooby-Doo? It's better than Pork Chop. Oh, wait. Actually, well.
A good name.
Good name. I mean, people have talked about like a reboot of Scooby-Doo, like where you kind of have him solve real murders and like, real like, drug trafficking shit. And
well, that's kind of what this movie was supposed to be like.
Right. They're solving an actual, those were kind of murders. Their souls were leaving their body. Yeah.
In the actual first draft / first edit of this movie, it was like rated R.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
are we? Oh, hold on. Are we getting into it?
Yeah.
This is movie talk.
Well, if we're gonna shift gears into movie talk,
we have to shift. We're already in gear for movie talk. We should go through with shifting the gear.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like a foot off the clutch.
Right. Well, before we do that, Jace, do you want to tell the audience what we do on the show and what we're about to do now that we're like 30 minutes in?
Sure. I have the synopsis too. So.
Oh yeah. So feel free to just roll right into it as you see fit.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are the GBGBs, and we are presenting to you today Scooby-Doo. We're a podcast that reviews. God, wow! I always have it, and then it's so obtuse. Films about specific themes. We watch 10 of them, and
we're stuck in a mansion of sorts.
Right now, we're outside, stuck in the doghouse, and then we try to give a ranking to the theme, and then the movie itself. This season's been hard.
It's been difficult, and the reason Jay was lost for words is because we've all done a little soul searching in the last 5 weeks when we stuck on repeat watching these kids movies.
Yeah.
Well, dog movies take a toll on you. Dog movies are like, it's difficult to get through. When we were watching Ben Affleck and Matthew McConaughey movies, I was thinking to myself every week, like, okay, well, at least I get to see my old friend. At least I get to see Matt or Ben. But now it's hard to do that because the dogs are different in every movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm finding my sense of humor slowly changing too, watching so many dog movies. If I see like, person post like a dog meme on Facebook where like the dog's wearing sunglasses, I'm like, and then I'm like, oh, I shut my laptop. Those things are starting to seep in because now dogs are 100% of my, my cinema experience and my cultural experience now.
Yeah, we don't watch any non-dog movies.
It's
not
tough.
anymore. I haven't watched a non-dog movie in a long time. Actually, I saw In the Heights the other day, and I actually was like there was a part of my brain that was like, when's the dog gonna show up? And I couldn't get rid of it. I couldn't dismiss it. So Jace, please take the wheel here and let our audience know, about the dog movie we watched. This is probably the most high-profile dog movie we've done yet so far.
Sure, big hitter too. I'm imagining that you both watched this when we were younger, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Scooby-Doo the movie
since it came out, yeah.
Released in 2002, is I believe the first live-action Scooby-Doo movie to be made. So we kind of kind of come into the beginning of the story at the end of Mystery Inc., where the characters have grown up. They're kind of not happy with what's going on in solving mysteries, and they're all going off in their own direction. And we come to a time skip where a mysterious patron hires individually each of Mystery Inc. to come to his island and solve the mystery of Spooky Island?
What a coincidence.
Yeah, you can't make this up, folks.
Who would have thought that Spooky Island was actually spooky?
Right? And
Such a coincidence.
Spooky Island's this banging club scene that I would have gone to if I was in college and they were paying for my ticket there. And the crew, we use the word hijinks a lot, but this is true hijinks. So I feel as if Scooby-Doo is the epitome maybe the origin of dog-based hijinks.
That's fair.
They go through hijinks. They find clues. They set up elaborate traps, and eventually they unearth the bad guy. I don't.
Yeah, such as like a Scooby-Doo movie kind of episode kind of unfold is a bit of a longer formula. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I saw this in 2002, I loved it. I was a child and I loved every movie I saw. And when I was going into this movie, I was expecting kind of like a studio cash grab and, kind of a cheesy, cringy movie. And I think within about 10 minutes, I was 150% on board. I was totally shocked by how much I laughed and enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I got hit pretty hard with nostalgia, with the jokes. This was a movie targeted at 20-year-olds, I feel like.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, okay, my main critique of the movie would be that the dialogue is meant for adults and the action is meant for children.
Mm-hmm.
That's a perfect crossover for me. Because the action parts where Scooby-Doo is grinding on a skateboard rail to escape the ghosts, the fart/burp off between him and Shaggy, like the first burp, I was like, oh, come on, so juvenile. But the last fart, I couldn't fucking breathe because I was laughing so hard.
Yeah. It was just toilet humor for for 5 minutes. But I totally agree. And even like Julie was sitting on the couch next to me watching it, pretty bored. And at one point we looked to each other and we were just like, freaking fart jokes. They're relying on fart jokes. That's like the lowest thing you could do. And then you're right. The last one where he's like slapping his foot on the ground.
And how good was Matthew Lillard as Shaggy?
Oh, yeah.
He was fantastic. Such a delight to watch. Yeah. And he plays Shaggy nowadays still.
Yeah,
And,
he nailed it so much that like people want him to, continue being Shaggy. Like when they think about Shaggy, they think about his voice. So he's the voice of Shaggy in my mind.
Yeah, for sure.
He's peak Shaggy. It's like if I can't think of any other characters. It should be in my mind. Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
I'll never think of another person. Matthew Lillard.
Johnny Depp really encapsulated an animatronic robot from a Disney park theme, right? Really brought him to life. But no, I get what you mean, dude. Like, and the rest of the cast too, I thought did a pretty good job. It was kind of a who's who of '90s celebrities. You've got Freddie Prinze Jr. As the Fred Man. You've got I'm drawing a blank on her name from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Sarah Michelle
Gellar. Huge star as Daphne. You've got Linda Cardellini as Velma. Watched her in Freaks and Geeks. And then of course the guy Matthew Lillard from who plays Shaggy. He was in Scream. I remember him from that role too. Then you've got like randomly Sugar Ray showing up halfway through the movie as like possessed demons.
Mr. Bean.
Mr. fucking Bean himself shows up as the main villain. Pamela Anderson makes a cameo. She was in like a lot of early 2000s movies, I think.
Movie did good.
Right. So,
here we go. Ryan has that tone where he's okay. What is it, right? What's going on?
The issue is, yes, they took stars that from the 90s that people, in their late teens, 20s, 30s might recognize when they were watching this movie. The problem kind of came out in maybe the costume department, or whoever was telling the costume department to make the costumes that they ended up making.
Scooby-Doo should have been clothed. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Right. That was the problem. Seriously, I do not understand this at all. It was probably one of the most like unnecessarily sexualized / genderized things I've ever seen. Like
I didn't think Scooby-Doo was that sexy. Like he was definitely ripped, but like I didn't think he was overly sexualized.
He
wasn't wearing.
Uh-huh.
Okay, it was pretty sexy. I don't know. Yeah, if I was a dog, like great catch. Continue, Ryan. Sorry.
It's actually kind of hard to continue a point. The issue that I'm talking about is more along the lines of think about the actors.
Right.
Think about Hollywood in general. Like you give this Scooby-Doo script to a bunch of men, and they're making a movie, and they're like, yeah, and let's let all the iconic female characters just dress scantily clad, completely unnecessarily. Let's do a whole bunch of short skirts. Let's point the camera up them. Like, at some points, it's like, whoa. It was really weird. Like, weird.
Yeah.
Not even like, okay, I get this is made for adults, and so they're dressed like adults. They weren't dressed like normal adults. There was scenes where within a scene, an actress would change to a low-cut shirt if she was doing something like running around, or if there was an action scene where she was being carried and she's horizontal and the camera's pointing at her face / body, and she would switch to like a low-cut shirt, and then in the next scene she'd be back to wearing a turtleneck.
Yeah, I think that gets back to your point earlier, is that this was a rated R comedy at one point for adults.
Mm-hmm.
And I think comedies of that era, there was a lot of sex. And I think they even said they cut out a ton of sex jokes in this movie. And then they said they
had
even
to CGI over cleavage.
So I think that's a remnant of that.
Right. But like, I totally understand that. It's just it's so blatant. It's one of those things where when you're watching it at the time, you're thinking like, oh, they're trying to freshen Scooby-Doo up. They're trying to modernize it, trying to make it hip. They're trying to make teenage guys want to go see it. But then when you're watching it, through a lens of Hollywood is really, really misogynistic and really, really like predatory, it's weird. It's just so out of place. And like, I guess for me, it's like not that Scooby-Doo is holy territory, but like, it's just like they're doing it here. Like this is the time they're doing it.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, man. It definitely raised a little bit of an eyebrow with me. But I think I was in the mindset of like, yeah, this is 2002. This is probably gonna be a remnant of movie, like Scary Movie. It was like kind of like that type of humor.
Did you watch this with your significant others?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering because like Julie pointed out a lot of it to me. And so I was keeping track of all like the weird stuff. I saw like skimpy clothing or, down shirt shots that they let out there. And there was too many. So I lost track at 11 cleavage shots.
Ryan, you're supposed to be looking at the dog, you sick fuck.
No, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like these scenes in which nothing is happening and it's only just like a woman and it's framed extremely strangely. And I lost track. Like, and Julie was pointing them out to me at one point.
Julie, you're supposed to be looking at the dog.
Yeah, I get what you mean, Ryan. Like, I guess when I was watching it, I don't think it was something that quite registered immediately. But yeah, in retrospect, I think there was some of that shittiness in there where these were like, oh yeah, let's sexualize the shit of them for our audience.
Right. Who are children.
And I guess the broy dads who are taking their kids to the
kids. Yeah.
This was the eighth. I think they said it was the eighth largest grossing movie starring a dog as a major character of all time. I was going through
what a piece of trivia.
I was going through a list of highest grossing movies that feature a dog as a major character. This Scooby-Doo 1 is pretty high on that list. I think number 2 was number 8. I think Scooby-Doo 1 was number 5. Bolt actually got pretty high up on that list. You guys want to know? The highest grossing dog breeds in film?
Yeah,
dude, that sounds like the perfect piece of information to get us to the next segment of this podcast.
Yeah, number 1 is dachshunds. Average gross is $278 million if you have a fucking dachshund in your movie.
Wow.
You got them showing up in Toy Story 3, which grossed $1 billion. You got one showing up in Curious George. And of course, the great Open Season 2, which grossed $8 million.
Oh, the trifecta of movie making.
Wow.
Toy Story 3, Open Season 2, and what?
And Curious George.
Curious George?
Yeah, Curious George, all right? Curious George.
How much money did Curious George make? $45?
$69 million, all right? And then, okay, but close second is Pugs. $264 million gross, baby. These are money-making dogs. We got a movie called Men in Black. Ever heard of it?
Probably carried
Um,
hard by Secret Life of Pets too.
Secret Life of Pets actually doesn't show up, but Pugs, has "I Love You, Man" and Norbit on there. Huge bangers there, and then of course Dalmatians. And I think,
Norbit? Did you say Norbit?
yeah, I said Norbit, man. Gross $159 million, believe it or not.
Wow. That's actually really hard to believe.
Just because there's a pug in it, though.
A Dog's Purpose is on here. That's Golden Retrievers. That's number 3, baby. Golden Retrievers are featured in Up, A Dog's Purpose, and my personal favorite, Air Bud. 23 mils, baby. I hope
It's not
most of
that
that
much
went.
money.
Jesus
Hope most of that went to the dog.
It didn't.
Speaking of dogs, man, did you guys get a little bit of Uncanny Valley with Scooby-Doo in this movie?
Well, yeah, because they changed his animation style to a 3D dog.
Right. But it's still like a cartoon, but it's kind of real. It was a little
And then
weird
they
to
dress
see.
him up in human clothes.
Yeah, for the airport scene where they're trying to sneak him in, which made no fucking sense. They were like, oh, they don't allow dogs, so we're going to dress him as a human.
Specifically when the airline is owned by the private island that requested Scooby-Doo's presence
He
on the island.
Yeah, wait, what the fuck?
They could have
makes no
just
sense.
blown him in. They should have put him in first class.
That's what I'm saying. They just improv this bit.
I thought it
I
was
thought-
fucking hilarious.
I
I'm
thought it
gonna
was
be
funny
entirely honest.
when the grandma chased the cat. And then and then you see Isla Fisher just randomly in this movie too, who plays Shaggy's love interest in this movie. Okay, Isla Fisher, during that scene where she's on like the 4-wheeler and she gets hit with a branch and her face turns into a scary face, that scared the shit out of me.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Like as an adult or as a child?
I think I actually had a flashback while I was being scared as an adult to when I was scared as a child, because her face gets really scary when she's like like there's like glowing green eyes and she looks like a goblin, and then she like snaps her face back into Isla Fisher. And I was like, Jesus Christ, that was
Okay.
terrifying.
Question for the room.
Okay.
Well, really for Denali.
Yes.
When's the last time you watched like an actual horror movie?
It's been about 36 months,
Wow. What was
15
it?
days. The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Oh,
A great
okay. So
courtroom
kind of a
drama.
random pick.
Yeah, it was recommended by a friend. I couldn't finish it. I tried 6 times.
Okay. So
was
that
scary.
probably was very frightening for you when this woman's face got slightly disfigured as if she was wearing a mask.
Yeah, it was scary.
Yeah.
Are you making fun of my scary meter? Because my spooky meter is really attuned, okay?
I'm
No,
not
back-
necessarily making fun as I'm pointing out that the current leading proposition for season 4 is a horror theme.
In your opinion, Ryan, we don't know yet. Okay, you guys need people like me in horror movie situations who tell you to get the fuck out when I'm really creeped out. Because usually I'm right. We're in a scary house. I get spooked, and I'm like, hey guys, let's GTFO.
You
Like,
try
I'm
to
like the
leave,
canary.
and the killer kills you first.
It's if I listen to you guys and cave into peer pressure
Jesus Christ.
and get laid at some point in the movie, I guess that's kind of the
No,
rules.
I don't think you're making it that far, man. I hate to break it to you, but
Yeah.
the scaredy cat does not mesh with the laid. Like, you have the scaredy cat who gets killed, and that's the reason he gets
Okay,
killed. 'Cause he's
well,
a scaredy cat. Then you
maybe-
have the jocks who aren't scaredy cats, but the reason they get killed is because they get laid.
Okay. But I am an integral part of the scary group. Did you guys pick up? You probably did, but like what was cut out of the original cut was all the weed jokes for Shaggy, because I think it's kind of obvious that Shaggy's a stoner. You
Right.
saw like the smoke coming out of the van, and like she's like, "Oh, my name's Mary Jane." It's like that's my favorite name, man. Like,
Yeah.
and I think to me the funnier parts of the movie was the fact that they were parodying and were self-aware about the Scooby-Doo tropes.
Yeah. Totally.
I agree.
The splitting up, like Fred saying, we'll split up. And then Velma going, no, I'm going this way with this person. It was pretty good. I think that was a great choice starting the movie with them splitting up. Well, okay, in a different sense. Like with the mystery gang, like literally
Splitting,
saying we're
yeah.
no longer a gang, we're going to go our separate ways, was that's how they could introduce conflict between the members. And they could say, I'm tired of my role. I want to do something different. And then that's where the comedy kind of set in, is as they were trying to do something different. and were
Mhm.
pushed back into their original goal or original role as they failed.
Right. I think
They
having
could have went
something like
so
that
much farther.
with subverting expectations and just kind of
Yeah.
going, yeah, I think they did it in a way that where it wasn't as predictable to me. I think some of the jokes like kind of caught me by surprise, or like when Scooby Doo gets a call and he's like, "Hey, I've got a bunch of hamburgers in a bag. Just come to the dark forest with nobody." He's like, "Okay," and then just runs out to the dark forest. Like shit like that made me laugh. Or when Shaggy was like, "I'm not going in there. There's going to be a guy with eyes behind a painting. It's going to follow me, and there's going to go into a night suit and chase me." Things like that where you remember in Scooby-Doo movies. I think it's just fun to see actor or the characters be self-aware about that.
They stayed really true to the source material. It felt like it could have been
I think that
an
too. Yeah.
animated Scooby-Doo movie that I remember from, being a kid.
Yeah.
It was kind of similar to like maybe Matthew McConaughey in Reign of Fire, where when he was on the screen, I was like glued to it. I think they did a really good job with Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
I thought the animation was a little goofy, but my favorite scenes in the movie were definitely the Scooby-Doo scenes. Like the when they're going through the haunted house that they're not supposed to be in, the ride is activated. They go into the room with the feast and the hot dogs get pulled onto the wall, and you have no idea right now. You're kind of aware that it's a ride, but there's this weird crazy thing like coming out of the wall trying to kill them. And Scooby says, "What now?" Shaggy says, "Let's do what we do best, Scoob. Eat." Scoob, "It's plastic." Shaggy said, "What do you care? You drink out of the toilet." And the Scooby-Doo voice was just perfect this whole movie. "So do you."
Yeah, I loved those exchanges. And I felt like those actors, they totally committed to the roles in the camp. I think if they held back at all, it would have been awkward or kind of cringy to watch. But seeing everybody ham it up, and it was fun to watch. Like I believe them in their roles, but also I just had fun watching them.
Yeah, I think that the haunted mansion scene was actually really great. The act, more like it was like a 10-minute long scene, because the characters had split up. There was the classic like hiding, they hide from the monsters. It was you're learning plot elements, and normally a Scooby-Doo episode is what, 18 to 25 minutes long? And
I'd
so when
say
you
so.
get this long bit about this gang put in the haunted mansion, it really worked. I wish they would have done that more. It seemed like that was the centerpiece of the movie, and everything else was kind of like setting that up or falling off of it. And why not? Okay, here's the haunted mansion ride. We got to go over there, and now we got to go to this other spooky place and investigate it. And for a while, it was a like, okay, I met this cool person at the bar, and I'm gonna go hang out with him. Okay, meanwhile, I'm gonna go to this voodoo shack, and there was a lot of dialogue in a way that I wish there was a lot more. I don't know, like Scooby-Doo.
Do you
The
like
Scooby-
the elements that were kind of like the show, like where they're working together and having gags together and
Yeah,
doing things like
it would have been nice to have like they do some hijinks rather than monsters tear things, and there's a four-wheeler chase scene that lasts like 10 minutes.
with a scary face? You didn't like the Sugar Ray scene or Sugar Ray singing and he does a scary face?
Well, that was more of a cameo, but yeah,
You like that scene?
I don't know who the fuck Sugar Ray is. Is the main
I
problem?
just wanna fly. That song?
Nope.
All right. I thought the reveal of Scrappy Doo was pretty funny in this movie. One of the most hated characters, I think, in cartoon history. I heard Tim Curry was supposed to originally be in this movie as the main villain and dropped out as soon as he learned about Scrappy Doo being in this, which is fantastic. And Ryan, you texted us this, like, at the scene with Scrappy Doo where he's like, "You don't have the scrote for this job," which I was like, "Excuse me."
You don't have the scrote for this?
I've never said scrote. It's very potent. Very potent phrase. I think that's a kind of a
It is.
showstopper right there.
It is.
Yeah, I had to pause the movie and rewind it to make sure I didn't like misunderstand what he was saying. But the subtitles confirmed it.
I think this should go in the Smithsonian because I think it's the first usage of the word scrote in a children's movie, which is, pretty monumental. And then he pisses on Daphne and they throw him on the side of the road. I like how when they kicked Scrappy out, they kicked him off next to a sign that says "Town 5 miles away," so it doesn't seem like they're throwing a puppy on the side of the road in the middle of the desert.
Change it.
Except they are 5
It
miles
says
away from
and then he had this little suitcase too, so he'd be okay. I think that was just very like apparent. They're like, "Hey guys, we're not doing this."
Is there a lot more content for us to talk about out of a Scooby-Doo movie? I feel like it's a
I've got a
Scooby-Doo
shitload
movie.
of notes. I mean,
Like, but that's the thing is like with this entry coming out of a large catalog, a large portion of what you're going into the movie with is these preconceived notions that you can't quite extract from just one movie. Like we talked about, the intro of the movie is them saying, "Oh, the gang is splitting up. We're going our separate ways, and we're not working together anymore." What if someone was like, "Yo, I've never seen Scooby-Doo. Who the heck are these people?" It was just kind of a weird pick. It was definitely an entry. They were treating it like every other Scooby-Doo movie treats it, right? So the animated movies often are just the gang solves the mystery, and then in the next movie, the gang solves the mystery, and so on, and they just solve an endless string of mysteries, and there's no beginning or end. And this very much felt like just one of those that they decided to do live action, rather than like rebooting or giving us the Scooby-Doo origin story or doing some like big, huge, grand, Scooby-Doo overture.
so
It was yeah, I wanted like Lord of the Rings. To me, this is like
Lord of the what?
Yeah, I wanted like we're reimagining this material completely from the get-go.
5 teenagers, 1 dog,
Yeah.
1 van.
Rather
Legends
than
foretold of-
rather than them being like, oh, the first. We know Lord of the Rings movies are normally live action. We made two live action Lord of the Rings movies. Let's make Return of the King animated with a funny dog. Like that, and that way it would just be like an entrant, like an entry in the series. And that's what this felt like, an entry in the series where they just randomly decided to make one live action.
Yeah, maybe I think I was fine with that. Just because of how ubiquitous Scooby-Doo is in our culture.
Right.
Yeah.
And
And
if you're putting like millions and millions of dollars into making like a huge live action movie, and you want to make it like they just took one off the wall. It feels like they just took like a Scooby-Doo script off the wall and were like, this is the one we're doing.
I get what you're saying. I think part of it is the Uncle Ben. It's kind of like the Uncle Ben thing, where how many times do you see Uncle Ben get shot in a Spider-Man movie until you just already know that going in.
Yeah.
And I think they said, unless you're like a baby who just hasn't seen Scooby-Doo, which is entirely possible for the target demographic. Maybe they're operating on the assumptions like, we don't need to spend the money to introduce these characters. But who knows? Maybe it would have been a more narratively strong movie, though, to your point.
Yeah. But maybe that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's fine as a Scooby-Doo movie. I don't know about like as a movie.
Yeah. Maybe that's my thing with this, is that I'm seeing it as a Scooby-Doo movie. Because and maybe this is how other people saw it too, where you have this mythos of Scooby-Doo. You have these expectations and they got subverted, and that's what made the movie fun for me. Maybe if I'm just some dude who doesn't fucking know what that IP is, maybe I wouldn't like this movie. Maybe I wouldn't have had fun with it. But who the fuck doesn't know Scooby-Doo? I mean, we watched it.
That's not really my point. My point isn't that not enough people know about who Scooby-Doo is for them to do this. My point is like they could have really started something. They could have really started a live action Scooby-Doo verse.
Mm-hmm.
And instead they just added to the already existing Scooby-Doo verse. And it felt really narrow. At the end of the day, they're always going to go back together. They're always going to solve more mysteries.
You're proposing a rewrite, maybe a reboot?
Now, I would be on board. That's kind of where I'm going, is reboot Scooby-Doo.
With excluding Scoob that just came out.
Is Scoob live
What about
action?
Scoob? It's like a 3D Pixar style movie that just came out I think last year.
Well, maybe I am behind the times because I don't even know what you're talking about.
My God. There's, I think, over like 40 Scooby-Doo movies, I think, in the universe. Scoob is the most recent, which is, I think, when they are like little kids, I think.
Whoa, you're totally right. It says this film is a reboot of the Scooby-Doo series.
So I think we have your wish, right? Because I think this is an origin story, maybe even beyond what we even have in the Scooby-Doo canon.
You guys, I can't believe it. I can't
Ryan,
believe
ask for something else. Quick.
I'm ranting about something.
Ask for universal health care. Quick, Ryan, before it wears off.
I'm ranting about something, and you're like, you can have that. Like that already exists. They thought the same as you. Huh. You know what? I'm gonna eat my humble pie.
I think HBO's algorithm scanned our first few GBGB episodes and had a predictive neural network that predicted your want of a Scooby-Doo reboot and then made it.
Wow. I can't believe it. You know, I'm gonna try and watch this.
So is this kind of like your are you leaning into a Scooby-Doo season? Like
Yeah,
I want?
that was on the list. That was on the list, wasn't it?
Yeah, we have enough Scooby-Doo movies, I think, to do like 4 or 5 seasons.
Mm.
We can actually just start
Perfect.
a whole podcast if we want of Scooby-Doo content. If that's the direction we want to go, maybe with the Wheel of Chaos, anything is possible.
That's actually really, in my opinion, that's not really that bad of an idea.
There's some. We'd have to watch our step. There's a pretty serious fan base for Scooby-Doo.
That reminds me. So I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and they mentioned furries, and the person was like, "We're not saying no. We're not saying that furries are weird." And it reminds me all the time that you guys have had to put disclaimers on every time I talk. Say something about furries.
Okay, well let's get back on track.
Is there Scooby-Doo
Yeah.
and furry crossover?
Almost certainly.
There has to be.
Are those fandoms linked at all? I mean, are there people in the furryverse who show up to furry cons as
Dressed
Scooby-Doo?
as Scooby-Doo. Chase, I hear a fucking keyboard, dude. Please don't do this. Don't do this to your desktop. Folks at home, just type in Scooby-Doo FurryCon, and just comment on our social media about what you
spell
find.
con wrong.
Scooby-Doo fursuit. You know, there isn't too much insofar as Scooby-Doo-esque fursuits. Nothing that personifies him, you know.
Isn't it kind of arrogant to like say your persona is Scooby-Doo, like one of the most famous, greatest dog detectives of all time?
Yeah.
Is furry culture 100% devoted to what your persona is? I thought furry culture was more wide ranging. Like there's furry media, right? Like
We're just getting in dangerous territory, Ryan. We're getting in
People
dangerous.
make-
I don't want anything. I don't want any part of this.
like people make furry media that's composed of characters other than just their persona.
I have no.
And that's like taking a ready-made. That's like ordering your own pizza. It's already made for you. You're not gonna make your own pizza every time.
I don't think I.
Sometimes you want furry content that's already made, and there's Scooby-Doo's there.
I don't think I.
Oh, you guys gotta look at the picture I just sent you. There's
What?
Where'd
there's
you send
a
it?
large subset into Discord.
Oh God.
There's a large subset of people that draw buff Scooby-Doo.
Oh my god.
No way. I was right. Can we at the end of the season can we rank our dogs?
Oh, we're definitely gonna rank the dogs.
Yeah.
Like who would win? Is it like who would win in the fight? Because Clifford.
No, we're not doing dog fights, Ryan. We've done too many
you're
close
right.
flybys, and so we're gonna do best dog, and then we're gonna do best movie.
Best in show.
Best in show. Thank you.
Ooh.
Back to Scooby-Doo. I thought there was a lot of really great quotable lines in this movie. One of my favorite was just kind of like a throwaway moment where Mary Jane calls the Coast Guard because of the monsters, and the Coast Guard guy answers the phone. He's like, "Coast Guard, this is Caleb." That was so fucking funny.
Okay, I actually do. I had that scene written down. I only have like 5 notes, and that's actually one of them. What happened? Like, she called the Coast Guard, and the Coast Guard was evil.
It was like a fake Coast Guard,
And they said, "Go wait by the pier."
Yeah.
And then Scooby-Doo actually went. The crew actually.
Yeah, there was no
waited by the
payoff. They
pier.
just went to sleep.
And then they woke up the next day, and they're like, "Okay, next scene, please."
I thought they'd get kidnapped by the pier, yeah, and I think it's just the whole area just reset, right? Maybe they just wanted them to get out of the way because the whole town reset, right? Like all the windows were fixed and all the.
Oh yeah, the sound of the water by the beach and the pier is loud enough to stop the bulldozers that were needed to fix the walls and
go.
move the
That's what it
debris
is.
away.
They're airtight, baby.
Cut for
Airtight.
time. Cut for time.
I want to see the original cut of this movie so
Yeah.
bad,
Yeah.
where all this
Because-
random shit's explained.
Because scenes just like begin and end.
Yeah.
They will just straight up end. There's this one scene where the coolest scene in the movie, in my actual opinion, like Velma is attending this ceremony, and they do this, oh, the spirit of the woods, and they tell the whole story about the history of the island and how the spirits are evil, and they think that humans need to vanish. And that scene literally just cuts off.
Oh, and she says the fire's fake, and then the guy wanders off and he's defeated. Yeah, it was pretty sudden.
And that was the only world building we had in the entire movie.
Yeah, and there was clearly characters I think would have played a bigger part, like the guy with the Led Zeppelin shirt who was
Right.
hitting on Velma. He clearly was a bigger part of the movie, and then the voodoo guy
The
too.
voodoo guy was hilarious.
The voodoo guy had to have been a bigger character,
Yeah.
because he was pretty funny. Where he's like, "Don't go up to that castle," and she's like, "Oh, I know what you're fucking doing. You want me to go up that castle unless you're telling me that because you know I won't go up to the castle, so I'll totally go up to the castle." Which, yeah. I
Yeah.
love that shit.
He served his Scooby-Doo purpose, though. I feel like a lot of the episodes had that person that fed,
Yeah, and he was
fed
a
some
suspect.
information. And that was one of my favorites. We've got 3 suspects. Mr. Mondavarius, the voodoo guy, and somebody else.
You
The
got Mr.
luchador?
Mononucleosis. Yeah. Yeah, the random luchador in this movie. I just think there was a lot of I think it's maybe it's because of James Gunn, who had a role in this making this movie, who made Guardians of the Galaxy. Probably pretty good at making kind of quippy, fun ensemble type of movies. Even though if this movie was a little bit of a mess on the way down, I still had a good time.
Do you guys want to actually? Can we dive into this thing and get this showboat on the road?
I think we.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready for the ratings? Now, because I think we've kind of riffed a little bit. We can talk about
I don't have anything else to say.
All right. Damn.
These movies just get harder and harder every
Yeah.
fucking time, especially when it's not totally dog centric. This is a Scooby-Doo movie about Scooby-Doo, but
That's where I'm gonna come in.
Scooby-Doo is Mystery Inc.
Right.
I just think it's like kind of shitty that Fred is like, "Hey, let's split up," and he's like, "All right, Daphne and Velma come with me, the 2 normal people, and then Shaggy, you go with your dog." I just think they're really mean to Shaggy because he contributes a lot to the group, and they're
He
like,
does.
"Go with your fucking dog." And you know what, dude? It's their bullshit that makes the mystery solved, because they're always going in, opening the 80-year-old fridge and eating a big old turkey thing. And then the ghost shows up. And then they capture the ghost. There's a funny thing. And then Fred's like, "Oh, wow, you guys caught him." And then is that their formula? Is that they just let this guy go, like the stoner dude, go with his dog in this house and the mystery gets solved?
Yeah. That's how most mysteries are solved, you guys. Like, I don't want to give away the secrets of the justice system,
Yeah.
but most crimes are actually solved by letting stoners go into buildings.
Well, that was actually like my next note here, because I was going to ask you about what do you think about these team of vigilantes who go out and
Right. My question to you two was,
Yeah.
what part of the justice system does this movie implicate? Because we haven't gotten there yet.
There was only
Like-
maritime law.
Well,
Well, there was a little bit of animal control too at the end. But
was anything
yeah,
illegal
I don't-
done in the Scooby-Doo movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so
A man
would
was
say-
kidnapped and held against his will for 3 months.
I would say assault is probably the number one most reoccurring. Grand Theft Auto,
Destruction of property. The gang destroyed a lot of property.
falsely impersonating a Coast Guard officer.
he said his name was Caleb. It didn't say he was part of the Coast Guard. He just said the building he was in.
Yes, this is the building in which the Coast Guard's name is on, and my name on my driver's license is Caleb.
It's also like, does the Coast Guard have a number? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know it. Could you just fucking call them?
613.
Not really the Coast Guard number.
Yeah,
I'm gonna save that for later. Because like there's in the beginning of the movie, they're chasing down this ghost who's supposed to be actually like a huge part of the movie, and I think they like cut around it. Where it's like that big marshmallow ghost who's like a floating man, right?
Mhm.
And he's trying to like scare people so the property value goes down or some shit. And they catch him.
Ooh, classic Scooby-Doo.
That's fucking insurance fraud or
Mhm.
property fraud.
Oh,
I mean, is that kosher? Is just like these teens?
100%. Okay, actually, whoa, this is a great topic. Oh
It's like
man,
hiring a private investigator.
this
Are they like
is
private? Yeah.
guys. That's a real thing. There's a famous case in New York from this region actually. That the issue was this woman was trying to like sell her house and claim that it was haunted. And or no, she covered up the fact that she claimed it was haunted for like years.
So
And
it
then
was haunted, and she covered up that it was haunted.
yeah, and she
What?
sold it. She sold it, and the people who bought it were
Yeah.
like, "What the? This house is haunted, or at least everybody in town
What?
thinks it's haunted. This
Yeah.
was worth nothing. Now we can't resell it unless we find a stupid out of towner like us." And the lady was like, "Too bad you didn't ask whether it was haunted." And they were like, "The it's a really famous case, and so you can actually get in trouble for not telling people that your house is haunted."
That is so much better that it was haunted and she didn't tell anybody and she got in trouble.
Yeah.
Versus the other way around of trying to convince them that it's haunted to commit fraud. The fraud was trying to convince them that it was normal.
Right.
So could you hire a reverse Scooby-Doo gang for this situation?
To prove that it was haunted?
Prove that it was haunted, I guess. So you'd need 5 dogs and 1 human. So I guess a dog walker. And the one human's really like a competitive eater. And then one of the dogs is really smart, and the other dog's kind of like, like a diva, and another dog's kind of like the dumb leader, and the other one's like a cool dog that you like, he probably rips the bongs with. And then he goes in, and then he finds out that the ghosts are real, that Mr. Jenkins is a dead ghost. He's a skeleton on the inside.
And the dogs, you can tell because the dogs do that thing where they go into a room and they just like stare at open space.
Yeah.
His name is Ood Yabood Yaboos.
That's supposed to be something.
Scooby-Doo backwards.
Oh.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Oh, yeah.
Ood Yabood Yaboos.
Yeah, that's gonna be huge in Norway. I think we pitched a pretty good movie.
We did it again.
I think that's the plot for like all 15 seasons of the TV show Supernatural.
Is a guy with 5 dogs proving the house is haunted?
I mean, not in that exact form, but that's the idea.
I'd watch every fucking episode, man.
There's the Scooby-Doo episode, dude. They go into the Scooby-Doo first in one of those episodes.
Well, hold on. Is that for reals now?
No, I'm 100% serious. They actually have a Scooby-Doo Supernatural crossover.
That's amazing. What the fuck? Why wasn't this like? Why wasn't the press alerted, man? I feel like I didn't get any notifications.
It's a special treat. It's a special treat for those people who hung in there for like 12 seasons.
Yeah, God, man, all 5 of them, man. I gotta give them something. Throw them a freaking bone. Okay, you guys want to actually review this movie now? Jace, you want to start off with our doggo-meter or the lag meter?
Wolfometer.
I fucked it up. I think every episode so far.
Well, I threw my Wolfometer into oblivion last week when I destroyed any semblance of continuity, and gave whatever fucking dog we watched a 5.
Was it All Dogs Go to Heaven?
Yeah.
That was a contentious Wolfometer between all of us.
It was tough. And
I think the Wolfometer is going to be different moving forward because of it, because of what happened there. So we're going to have to. It's a brave new Wolfometer now. So.
Yeah, I think Scooby gave it his best shot. I think he improv'd a lot of the lines in these scenes with Shaggy.
You can tell.
And you could really feel the tension when Scooby told Shaggy that his mom ate cat poop. He was fantastic. He was skateboarding. He can ride an ATV. We haven't seen that yet.
I beat that air, bud.
In classic doggy style.
Damn it.
He loves Scooby snacks. We're given a good. I think we're given a good Scooby-Doo here. I thought the animation style I liked it. It's kind of weird. I can't really imagine any other movies that have this type of animation style for a fake creature or for like an animal.
They could have done a Who Framed Roger Rabbit, I guess, where it's cartoon, but then you're running into other issues.
And I just feel it's a high number. It's a good number. I kind of want to give Scooby-Doo like an 8 or a 9. Good amount of dog jokes. I think maybe he'd get hit on the volume. I think the volume is where I would take it off because
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo revolves around the Mystery Inc. and not just Scooby-Doo the dog. Where Scooby-Doo's gonna miss out on the dog meter is a little bit of volume. So I'm gonna give him an 8. I was pleasantly surprised with everything else.
All right, an 8 on the Woof-O-Meter is what we're calling
Yeah.
it.
And he barked. He barked at the cat. Chasing the cat was a really good scene for me for bumping my
Yeah,
Woof-O-Meter
that
up.
definitely that registered on mine as well. I'm glad you saw it as well. Respect. Um, I thought this movie had a lot of great Scooby-Doo scenes. I wasn't on board with the animation at first, and then seeing him do all the funny antics, it made me laugh. His lines, I didn't expect it to make me laugh so hard, but it did. There was plenty of dog gags. There was the old "I'm allergic to dogs, but your dog's dressed as a grandma, so I don't really know why I'm sneezing" bit. There's the whole dog chasing the cat. Dogs pissing on people. All the great dog gags that show up in these movies. So I'm thinking it's checking all the dang boxes here. It subverted my doggy expectations by having Scooby-Doo do his wild and crazy, R-rated antics in this movie. Where I'm going to dock it is like Jay said, it's not as dog centric. This is a lot about the mystery gang. There was a lot of scenes without him in it too. There was a whole sequence where he was captured, and it's all fucking Shaggy and his love interest, and it's all these other people. There ain't no dog action in here. So I'm gonna dock him a little bit. However, when Scooby was on the screen, I was having a good time. This is a dog centric movie in concept, so I'm gonna give it a 7. This is a dog movie for sure. But this is not the perfect dog performance that I've seen in the past. A 7. Dog.
Well, folks, I don't think you made any large logical missteps in your arguments. It's hard for me to.
Thank you, Spock.
It's really hard for me to disagree with you guys. I think in a way you persuaded me. I was thinking pretty low, but maybe I'm getting my Woof-O-Meter rating mixed up with my movie rating, which I really
been
should be
there.
like,
Yeah.
just rating the dogness of this movie. I think I'm gonna not make anybody too mad, but I'm gonna express my displeasure for dog movies that portray themselves as dog movies, as if somebody who didn't know what Scooby-Doo was and didn't have much dog in it. I'm gonna go with a 5.
Straight down the middle.
Yeah, you need more dog,
I think it's fair.
and he's not. Yeah, he's kind of not really even a dog.
Less cleavage and more Scooby would have made this movie a lot better.
It would have helped the Woof-O-Meter.
Less booby, more Scooby.
There was Scrappy in there too. We forgot about the main antagonist being a
Yeah.
dog.
Nobody needs to talk about him.
He turned into a big Scrappy monster.
No, wasn't very
No.
interesting.
Okay.
He was
Well-
Jack, though.
Great pecs.
Yeah.
Movie ratings?
Nostalgia is the biggest bump for me for this movie. I would, if all things considered, if like I wasn't trying to rate it on par with everything else, I'd probably get like a +3 just for nostalgia. Like going back and seeing the floating heads bobbing in the cauldron scene. Like I remember watching this movie a lot as a kid. I was like, oh, I loved Matthew Lillard's performance. I really liked all the cast. I really liked how Scooby-Doo interacted with them. I thought the jokes were funny. This is probably one of the, if we're not trying to like take it seriously, this is probably one of the first comedies in the Dogverse and the comedies we've watched recently that.
You didn't like the gut buster that was Snow Dogs?
No. They had me laughing a lot.
Mhm.
I said that I like the set design. I think they put quite a bit of work into it. It sounds like this movie was a shit show. The discussion on it says it was like contentious throughout like the entire span of 1990s of writing, rewriting, and finding out what they were trying to do. Like this movie's like a 7 for me.
7.
I'd rewatch it. I'd probably go back
Wow.
and I'd go back and rewatch. So again, and that's without the nostalgia factor. If I was going to give this with a nostalgia factor, I'd probably overlook some of the criticisms that could be given for the movie and give it a 10 because I think I could watch it again. Ryan, you bring up some good points in the production and looking back on it with a critical eye that I think reduce its overall quality. It would have been another one of these movies where they either should have gone in the direction of being a kids movie or been an adult movie.
Alrighty. Well, a 7. Jace, I think
Yeah.
I'm pretty much in agreement there too. This movie surprised me because I was because I mean, guys, we've watched Air Bud, Clifford, Snow Dogs, and All Dogs Go to Heaven. Not a lot of these are in my wheelhouse of like, shit I'm excited to watch. So Scooby-Doo was the most adjacent because it's like, finally an IP that I've spent some time with. And then watching it I had a lot of unexpected laughs. I think I remembered it a lot differently, just maybe seeing it with adult eyes now, and seeing all the adult jokes in it. I had a really good time watching this. And as we've said with previous episodes, I can't rate this the same way I rate other movies. There's no fucking way you could rate a dog movie like you would with Gone Girl or Interstellar. There's no fucking way you could do that. So with that, I have to go with raw enjoyment. And because I enjoyed this movie so much and it was so surprising, I'm going to have to give it like a 7.5 for me. Is it a good movie? Probably not. It's probably not the best airtight movie, but I had a great time watching it. I thought all of the actors had a super, I don't know if they had a fun time making it, but it seemed fun watching them in the roles. They totally committed. Jace brought up Matthew Lillard, even Daphne and Velma's, like the way they played off of the tropes of the Scooby-Doo universe, I thought was super fun. I really enjoyed this movie. Ryan, I do think your criticisms are definitely valid. I think it's totally fair to mark the movie down for that too. But I have to just go off of in the moment, did I like it? And that answer is yes.
We're dirty. We're dirty.
It feels wrong.
You can't.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. That's the thing is, I think this is something where reasonable minds can disagree about this movie. If you're willing to put the blinders on and just watch the movie, I think you can come away with a lot of, positive things. Ultimately, my qualm is that I didn't do that, right? So I'm even giving it the benefit of the doubt and saying like, yes, dog movies can't. My whole theory behind this whole season, and I still am waiting to be proved wrong, is that dog movies can't be as good as normal movies.
Your prejudice is still still
they peak at about an 8 out of 10, and therefore my dog meter that should be a 10 out of 10 on my movie meter.
Yeah.
I just don't think that I have to reward this like half-assed effort at it though. They didn't try hard. If they would have tried harder, you'd get a couple sympathy points from me. But I really didn't feel like they freaking cared. At least not the studio. Like, okay, script writers, the actors, yes, I totally understand. They kind of felt like they were shafted a little bit, but it just didn't quite mesh. It was very much a jack of all trades, master of none type movie where I don't think this movie could be anybody's favorite movie. It doesn't excel at any one thing well enough to where someone could form this like strange emotional connection with it. And they could say, yeah. But if you focus on this, it's really great. It wasn't atrocious. I did laugh a couple times. I actually appreciated the humor because it was directed at us, right?
The farting.
And the farting.
Fart scene was so good.
Part. Actually making me laugh at a fart scene, I think gets it a point. So I'm going to give it a 5.
5? That's higher than I thought you'd give it. Yeah.
It's higher than I thought I'd give it. But that's benefiting from the fart curve.
Yeah, the fart curve, yeah.
And it's benefiting from the dog curve.
Okay.
We didn't touch on short change here. We didn't touch on the soundtrack. It's had a pretty custom soundtrack for all the music where everything was redone Scooby-Doo themed.
Yes.
What?
No. The reggae artist Shaggy and MXPX perform different versions of the Scooby-Doo Where Are You theme song throughout the movie, which I think is very, very good. That Shaggy had a role in a movie starring Shaggy. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty fun soundtrack. And you got fucking Sugar Ray in there. Apparently, the soundtrack charted too. I'm looking up right now. It peaked at number 24 on the Billboard 200 for top R&B and hip hop album.
Wow.
Yeah. So, Scooby-Doo soundtrack, check it out. Apparently, it slaps. I'm gonna go listen to that later.
We want to get into the wheel.
All right.
So for those of you who have not watched all 25 prior episodes of this podcast, this season we're doing things differently. Usually we debate on which movie we should watch next. This season we're letting Jesus take the wheel, and we are randomly choosing from a list of approximately 10 movies. And the way we do that is by spinning a digital kind of Wheel of Fortune-esque wheel with the names of the movies on the different slots, and it picks a movie for us. Now, we've instituted a few different rules so that we don't watch crappy children's movies over and over, but that's unsuccessful.
But sometimes it leads to that, yeah.
Each week, each of us is allowed to add one movie and veto and remove a different movie. You don't have to do it if you don't want, and Jace so far has been very restrained, but me and Denali are slowly culling terrible movies from the ranks of the wheel.
I think we've had enough. Yeah.
But I'm not seeing any on here that I wouldn't want to watch. Okay, Cats and Dogs. I don't want to watch Cats and Dogs. We're looking at a list of movies. And right now, the choices are 101 Dalmatians, Homeward Bound, Old Yeller, Airbud Spikes Back, which is Airbud 2, Cujo, Isle of Dogs, Turner and Hooch, and Cats and Dogs.
Okay, not a bad spread there. I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes top rated dog movies right now, and there's a Scooby-Doo movie on here that's in the top 10. It's Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. It's at 88% on the tomato meter.
Really?
Heard that's the best one.
Someone's actually told me that this movie was pretty damn funny.
Okay. So what are you suggesting?
I'm just throwing that out there.
Wow, it has a 7.8 on IMDb.
Isn't that weirdly high? Wait, can I ask you guys a question about picks for this? So, first of all, let's just get this out of the way. John Wick, not a dog movie, right?
Not a dog movie.
Not a dog movie. It's dog centric, but not about a dog.
Yeah.
I Am Legend, not a dog movie.
Correct.
Not a dog movie.
Okay, that's fair.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna throw out for now. I'm debating on throwing in a real fucking dumper in here, but I don't know. I kind of want to watch a good movie too.
What did we remove the Shaggy DA?
No.
We never entered it in. I thought that movie looks fucking hilarious.
Huh.
Interesting. One of the top, I'll just say another piece of dog trivia, and if I'm on the dog trivia train real quick. One of the highest grossing dog movies of all time, I think this was number 3, was Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
We removed it.
Yeah, we got rid of it.
Yeah,
I exercised my veto.
Yeah, you did. And it's removed for now.
What are you implying?
It's for now, it's not here. And who knows what's going to happen later.
Okay, so let's start cutting the wheat.
All right. Or adding some wheat.
And then immediately cutting it.
Okay, wait, so I think whoever goes last has the most power, I think, here. But Ryan, you're at the top of the order here.
I think you
So
can
what does that
not.
say? You want me to go first?
I kind of think
Yeah.
instituted should be a rule that you can't remove something that was added the same week.
Same, yeah, I think that's a fair rule, Jace.
What? No, I totally disagree. I
Well,
don't
2
want
and
that.
3, Ryan. I believe we have a super majority here, and I believe
Okay.
That's
So
just
you want-
not
so,
that.
so what you're saying
lies.
is you're daring me to sabotage this month by putting the worst
yes.
dog movie I could find
Well, we're in.
and getting
Ryan,
you guys to
yeah.
immediately retract that rule.
What it is we're kind of mutually assured destruction, because if you put in a really terrible movie like Air Bud 6, I am then able to put in another really terrible movie as retaliation.
We would have to
and we will
change
both
the structure
mutually destruct.
because right now we go remove add, remove add, remove add. We would have to do add, remove, 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 and then at that point, it's just gonna come down to.
Okay,
stabbing each other, probably. We're already close, so
I'm fully willing to watch a real shitter of a movie just for the sake of the comedy. Ryan,
What?
you want to make your adds and deletes?
Yeah. I'm going to add the movie Wiener Dog.
Okay, Wiener Dog. What is this? Wait, I think I saw this on that list I was looking at. What is Wiener Dog, Ryan?
It's a movie starring a wiener dog and the journey of it as it goes through multiple owners that have very sad lives.
Oh, the Greta Gerwig movie.
Yeah.
I did not expect that. Okay.
That's not much fanfare there, not many jokes to be had. I'm putting that movie on the list.
You're hungering for a good movie.
Well,
You want to see how far this scale's gonna go as far as quality goes.
I don't think that's going to top out the scale.
Don't think it is? Okay.
Let's get that straight. I just want to watch a movie with a live action dog.
It's certified fresh.
Well, there we go.
And do you have a veto, right?
Cats and Dogs.
Okay. Cats and Dogs 2 is still on the table. Can you imagine if we watched the sequel instead of the first one?
Who's next?
Jace? Jace, why are you laughing? You're scaring me, Jace.
Because when you Google dog war movies, I'm looking right now at a movie called The Rain, released in 2003. Whose short description is: soldiers fighting in Vietnam resist when a German Shepherd goes through combat training and joins their platoon.
Oh my god.
This is Airbud who got enlisted.
It is.
Holy shit.
There's
It's
also
only 99 cents.
there's
Is
also
the Geneva Convention just like there's no rules against dogs fighting in war? Probably is though.
oh man, I think I'm gonna have to add this movie Rain.
Okay, do it, man.
And I kind of want to get Old Yeller is supposed to be good though, right?
Yeah.
Be like the iconic dog movie, yeah.
I think I don't really want to veto anything off of this list right now. My highest would be 101 Dalmatians to get rid of, but I don't think there's a need. Denali, I'll pass it over to you.
Okay, perfect. I'm between Scooby-Doo Zombie Island, Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed, Airbud 3, Cats and Dogs 2, or Frankenweenie.
Please add a sequel.
Yeah.
Do Scooby-Doo 2 or Scooby-Doo Zombie Island.
I'm think I'm gonna do Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed.
Woof.
Woof
Woof is
indeed.
right.
Woof. Okay, Scooby-Doo.
And then as far as like my vetoes, I'm actually like pretty chill with most of this shit. Is that 101 Dalmatians like the cartoon version?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the oldest one.
Okay. I'm fine with that there, honestly. No veto for me.
All right.
Stain. Okay, so we're gonna give this a spin. It's gonna be one spin. You're gonna hear some clicking, audience, and then whatever it's gonna be, we have to do for next week. Is that right? Is that what we're
Yep.
deciding on?
Announcing
Okay.
the 6th draft pick in this
Season 3.
in this
TV.
fucking trap.
What are we doing?
Trap of a podcast.
It's like melting our minds. No one's
Um,
meant to see this many dog movies in a row.
pure insanity. Here we go.
Oh my god. What does it say, guys?
Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. It could have been
was like-
fucking Cujo.
It was so close to Cujo.
The person that goes last has the most power. Wow.
Oh, I'm
Oh.
pretty sure Cujo would destroy our insanity. It's a 2-hour and 48-minute movie.
Are you serious, dude?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
We're doing Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. It's a good thing me and Jace were ready for more Scooby-Doo content. Ryan, I'm so sorry. Please don't take this out on me on the next pick.
Well, I might be wrong. I might have rated this movie too low. And I'm like, okay, this is what a bad
Yes.
Scooby-Doo movie's like.
Maybe Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed is going to be a better movie.
Maybe.
I'm pretty
You
sure
know,
the fandom would be
maybe.
upset with you if you said that.
I think this is my prediction, my bold
Okay.
prediction. I think
Okay.
I'm going to like this movie better than the first one.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it more deconstructs the Scooby-Doo franchise a little bit, more extensively than what I wanted out of the first one.
Mhm. I think I remembered more from the Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed as a child, which may be more indicative of something. I remember more haunted house scenes.
Yeah, there's going to be
Um,
more Scooby-Doo scenes rather than
right.
teenagers at a party island scene.
Pretty sure there's a bar in one scene. It's pretty
Cool.
I think there was a scene. I think there was a scene where Shaggy and Scooby become smart from drinking potions, and I remember that was funny when I was 8. You remember that one?
Nope, but I'm excited.
All right, baby. Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. Man, I wasn't prepared for the possibility that I would have to talk more about Scooby-Doo
Thanks, jerk.
immediately, but there's we committed to the dog season. We also committed to the possibility of watching the Clifford movie, which is what we did.
Yeah. And look what that did. It opened my eyes to the, good preschooler movies.
Mhm.
Yeah, a whole genre we never explored. So that's it, guys. That's the if you guys remember anything about Scooby-Doo or like this movie, feel free to throw us a comment or a tweet.
Especially if
know.
you're a furry and can enlighten
No,
us
please
on the furry Scooby-Doo breakdown
If you know somebody
Oh.
with a Scooby-Doo fursuit, let me know.
at me.
Okay, do hit us up about that.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and DM us.
Let us know which cast of Mystery Inc. you think we are.
Oh yeah, we could have done one of those fun
That's gonna
BuzzFeed
be
quizzes.
easy.
Maybe next week. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
you
I'm
got your
Daphne.
Scooby-Doo?
No,
Yeah, Jake is the
Denali's
Daphne.
Daphne. Jace is Fred.
Okay.
I'm the Velmster.
Oh.
I thought I was more of like a Scooby-Doo. I'm kind of like the face of the brand. Everyone likes me and wants to be me.
People laugh at you rather than with
People
you.
laugh-
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and then
You eat dog food.
I ate dog food.
Drink out of the toilet. Yeah,
Yeah.
all those jokes.
Shaggy is only paid in fucking dog food. That's just so wild to me, man. Like that guy, he gets a short end of a stick.
Oh.
Find us on Twitter at GBGB Podcast. Find us on Instagram at Good Boys Gunbland. Throw us a follow, subscribe, do all the things. This week we've already told people to tell their dogs about us.
Oh, we did?
Who should we have them
Cats?
tell your cat about? We didn't get a really guys. I don't want to part the curtain, but we didn't get a lot of new views when we told people to tell their dogs about us.
I know.
It wasn't like the crushes or the bosses where we got a little uptick, and then
Well, you know why? Because the dogs are listening on the same devices as the owners.
oh my
So
gosh,
the plays don't recount.
yeah, we burned a whole recommendation. Okay,
What about your
Um,
the birds? To tell your neighborhood bird,
Hmm.
maybe we should target species with phones.
How about you go into your nearest cell phone store
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and you download us on all the display phones.
Oh yeah. Download our podcasts and rate us on all those phones. That's really
5
good.
stars, not 1 star. Don't
play
rate us
play a
1 star
different
on all
episode
those.
individually on each one of those phones.
Give us some plays.
Yeah.
Play us on a JBL speaker
And-
in Best Buy.
Yeah, please select the auto download new episodes setting.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
That'd be very tight. And then tell let's see, maybe the grocery clerk.
Yeah.
The person who stands there and has to listen to your boring ass story and can't leave because
Yeah.
they're being paid. Tell them about our podcast.
They'll love it.
Tell your grocery clerk at your local grocery store about us. Oh, with that, you guys got anything?
Scooby-Dooby-Doo!
Trademark? Scoop Monsters Unleashed. Thanks, guys.